A loon cries. There are times in our lives that we wander away from ourselves. Some piece of our whole drifts off. We don't feel complete. We don't feel ourselves. This happened to me after we lost Zoe. Zoe was the little girl that we had tried to have for 7 years. Our love for each other, Glinda and myself, had decided to replicate itself in the form of a child. But for 7 years of our 9-year marriage, our bodies would not cooperate with our hearts. Desire does not always produce results. I remember how suddenly I felt my soul leave my body. We had finally gotten pregnant with the help of fertility doctors. We were in the office the second trimester for an ultrasound. The technician grimaced when she saw the image. She insisted nothing was wrong, but my soul knew. It only takes 1 second for the soul to leave the body. A flicker on the screen, a tightening of the face, and it drains right out. From the head, through the heart, out of the feet, onto the highly polished, gray-flecked, white linoleum floor. The pathways of ecstasy become vacant, the heart becomes hollow, and the mind, numbed, becomes empty. Gone are hope, joy, elation. It only takes 1 second for the soul to leave the body. We left the office knowing that things were serious, but not sure what that meant. We had to go for another ultrasound, a higher level reading. Cystic hygroma, open spine, multiple tumors, incompatible with life. This is all I heard that day. When we went to have the D&C after Zoe had died, the hospital staff treated us like dirt. They thought we were having an elective abortion. We were not. We sobbed and sobbed from the first ultrasound through much of the next year. Since we both worked at a home for abused children, we felt angry with God that we should care for other people's abused children and not be given birth to our own seemed to be a curse. This loss and anger opened a feeling deep in me that I will never forget. We did not want to have her sucked out of the womb into disparate death, so the cry came over the mountain and it spoke of war and bloodshed. We had set ourselves to killing God. We wanted to rout him out for the way he had shammed us, toyed with us like that, and done all we had done as good. We fought him hard, but he was everywhere and we lost strength. The tolls could not be measured accurately. How much damage had we done? How many limbs had he lost? Mist settled into our days, and the battling ceased to the haunting sound of loons on the water. We had only one casualty, and when she left, she took our souls. She held them like parcels or books under her arms as she swam into the vast and forever blue sea. She has sent back pieces of them. She pulls off something from here, something from there, and it floats in on the surface of the cold, churning waves. It will come as in a petal or a moss. It will come in as a tear or the sound of the pipes over the highlands. Was there not some deep settling as I crossed the path exposed by the tide to touch the heather at the castle ruin? Was there not a settling of green and brown and purple bells? A settling of the pounding waves and the cool mist breezes? She has not left us, yet she left us. Not only did the opening manifest itself in tears, but my heart itself was opened. My emotion was given a deeper place in me, and my word power changed. I left myself for a while, but discovered a grieving, one that I had never known. The cycle of suffering and healing went on for some time, clearly for a year, but then even after, the awareness of this shift enabled me to recognize how true my first words had been. It only takes a second for the soul to leave the body. I had indeed left, but I was beginning to return. I have been away for a while, out gathering in the fields. I have pulled up lots of good stuff by the roots, and I have put them in my basket over my shoulder. I've been away from myself, collecting new foods, new stuff for the journey. Having just gotten back, I now know that I was gone. I'm happy to be back because now I can begin again to bake the bread and light the candles, to draw the bath and to work the poems, to be about the things I laid aside so I could gather new foods and bring in new stuff. This feeling is as refreshing and surrounding as the 2 feet of snow drifting this way and that outside of my home. outside of me. The healing had begun to make itself known to me, which was an odd realization. It was clear that things were going on and transpiring inside of me that I had no control over. In therapeutic language, trust and process began to make sense. After I began to settle into this new person that had returned, I took a job with hospice. It was then that I was able to blend the grieving one with the man I had been and would become. That friend, the grieving one, came so close he became me. The merger became clear when I was able to write with much more vivid emotion. I was sure I had been wed to my suffering and healing when I was able to release my pain in color, full words that were no longer grasping and clutching to anger. The emotion was free to pass through me and not get caught. I knew it had happened when I wrote A Loon Cries. I knew then that I was infinitely grateful not only for the process, but for having put forth the effort to allow that process to have words. If I had not written through the pain, it would never have seen the beauty grow in my own heart. And now the poem, A Loon Cries. There is a deep sadness like a cello in the heart that plays and plays itself out, a river of tears and woes without end. There is a note of sadness even in the most joyous moment. It's all that distance. It's the sadness of moving away, of separation. It's the recognition of contraction, of making the invisible visible. A loon cries and wails its call of love across the surface of the waters, and we somehow cock our heads to the side and feel the space in the top of our hearts open, and we feel a sad joy. The water there is dark, and the moon is full and bright.